Okay, let's go over that theory again here. So, yeah, in order to sound like the song, you need to tune down a half step or use something to make the song a half step higher. I use a program called Transcribe to do that, and that's how I'm able to loop things and slow it down and make it easier to figure these things out. So yeah, this is really just a chromatic scale going on here because basically just based off of those notes right there, this riff for the most part. One exception to that is it does go up to this C note on the harmony part, which isn't showing right now. You can see a note in the top right corner of the guitar profile showing. It says minor third harmony creates minor dyad. So yeah, the other guitar is playing the octave shapes 3 frets higher. So that is being harmonized with this, and then that is being harmonized with this. And yeah, it's really just, making up your own stuff with this sort of idea. You can just play just your own kind of stuff chromatically. Just keep playing chords all over the place. No real rhyme or reason to it. Just slide it around and find stuff that you would like. Of course, you can mix in like the octave shapes too. So, improvising with this sort of idea, I mean, there's really no structure for it because, again, it's chromatic. You can just kind of so learning the riff itself is a good idea because that might give you some of your own ideas, and improvising with it, writing your own stuff, like, yeah, I can't really think of much of a writing assignment that would work well. If I do think of something, then I'll definitely tell you. Now, the next thing, though, we can definitely do some more improv stuff so you can practice writing things because it's more scale based. So yeah, I figured it's all the notes up until this last bar here, which we didn't really get into yesterday. The rest of that fits into your F Hungarian minor scale. Oops. Nope. But we're going to focus on the notes up into that last part. I'm going to bring up the scale stuff I made for you. There. Let's try to make that look a little bit better, though. So yeah, I got it covering, well, some of it covering 24 frets. So yeah, 24 fret guitar there. And closing some stuff, make this look better. Okay, yeah, focusing on that. The first group of notes there notes that are close by that you can do stuff with. You can use power chords and place the root note in any of those black dots. Yeah, it's just fiddling around using those notes that are currently shown. And then what I have next, got some scale shapes you could use to help you see this stuff a little better. And here it's just focusing on the bottom 3 strings because that's where most likely you would be doing this kind of riffing anyway. So yeah, the red dots there highlight some scale shapes you can use. Oof. And same one an octave higher. And then it's got some big stretches on this one. Whoops, I didn't show it though. Here we go. Nope, I'm in the wrong spot. It needs to be on. Oh, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, starting on that G note. There we go. Octave higher. And actually, that pattern of notes right there, I actually use that pattern in one of my own riffs. Let's see. And I change where I play it too, so it's kind of like Hungarian minor plus chromatic. The whole riff would be so that's where I end up using that group of notes or that kind of pattern. Anyway, the next scale shape, the one shown at the bottom of the screen there, this one's got a funky stretch. Definitely far easier the octave higher. At least it's not as bad of a stretch. And then next shape, starting on the B note there. So it starts with a little chromatic thing. They're all right next to each other. Bit of a hand shift backwards. Next. And then I'm gonna drop the pick. Oh wait, what's going on? Okay, it just doesn't want to show all the way there. All right, and then the last two. Yes, the one starting on the D flat. So got to do some hand shifting on this one as well. Oof. This next one, yeah, that one's not done. I could have done that at the higher octave. I don't know why I didn't fill that in. All right, I should do an update on that. But yeah, you can do it at the higher octaves, starting way up there on the 21st fret. Now this next one, if you started on the 12th fret here, this is very similar to the other shapes. At least in terms of like, two of the strings have 3 notes, so one of them has 2 notes. Very odd shape. Starting it on the low E string, it changes because, you know, the higher shape that we just looked at, you know, these 2 frets are on the 11th fret, or these 2 notes on the 11th fret. That would be like fret -1 over here, so it doesn't exist. So we got to change how we play that group of notes down at the open position. So yeah, you can just improvise with that stuff. The very last pattern down here, the very last thing is just all the notes laid out in this scale on the bottom 3 strings. And yeah, just taking a drum track and soloing on top, or riffing on top of it using the notes there. That is the thing to do. Let's see, let's look up death metal drum track. This one is called Morbid Angel Style. All right, well, let's see how this one sounds. So yeah, just visual, looking right at the shape there on the screen and just fiddling around and getting a feel for it, trying to have some fun with it. And remember, when you do come up with something that you really like, it's really important that you record it. Write it down, record it. Definitely record it. Recording would be the best thing. So this way you can start compiling riffs that you like, that you wrote. So this way you can make that album that you want to do. Okay, I think that covers it. Any questions, let me know. I'll see you again next week.